Zest is in, where resilience begins, not fixing the cracks.
Hello everyone and welcome to Zest is in with me, Shel, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today I am super excited to welcome my guest, Adam Guzman-Poole. He is a holistic relationship counselor, therapist, Amazon #1 bestseller, author of Lessons on Love, and a man whose journey has taken him from religious roots in the Philippines to spending more than 20 years learning from the Indigenous elders, Buddhist teachers, spiritual guides, and wisdom keepers from across the world. Wow. He has even lived in the jungle for 3 years, and I don't know if that's more now, but definitely that was something that I found on his bio that was very interesting. Today, Adam brings together the ancient wisdom, modern psychology, and lived experience to help people cultivate deeper love, healthier relationships, and a greater sense of purpose and connection in their lives. Through his work, he invites us to explore what it truly means to heal, belong, and love deeply. But what strikes me most about Adam, especially through his Instagram content, which I highly recommend you checking out, his links will be in the description, is his heart. He has a beautiful gift for sharing profound wisdom with love and relationships in a way that often is humorous but deeply relatable. Behind every smile, story, and insight is a powerful invitation to see ourselves and one another with greater compassion. If you feel called, I invite you to share a little love by helping amplify my incredible guest voice today by subscribing for future episodes. It costs you absolutely nothing, just a click of the button. So if you have already, thank you. And may this episode bring you the deeper connection, compassion, and a renewed sense of what is possible always. Thank you. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me. What a beautiful, warm welcome. So happy to be here.
You're so welcome. I'm like, where do we even begin? Like, I just have so much that I want to ask you. And I feel like, to start with, I always love to kind of go, not backwards, because a whole journey is always evolving, but I always love to know, like, how did you get to the point you've got to now? And even though it isn't always like necessarily something that we go, that's where I'm going, but I just always love to know how it all unfolded, and even kind of like your childhood and how you were as a child and how you saw the world, because I think you have a very unique journey.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Well, back to childhood. Let's go. Let's
let's do this.
Let's go. All right. Let me strap in here. So I think you said it a little bit in the upbringing. I mean, I'm very grateful that so I was raised in the Philippines. I'm born in Canada, raised in the Philippines. I'm half Venezuelan, and now I live in Bali, right? So from a lot of places, but my origins started in the Philippines, and I was very graced to be part of a very authentic spiritual community. It was Christian in faith, but really the kind of Christianity that really tries to live by the values of, being kind, loving, share, like really authentic. And so that was my upbringing up until I went to Canada when I was about 13 years old. And when I was about 13, I had a little bit of 13 to 16, I had a little bit of I was a little bit of a wild child, you could say.
I think we all, come on, we have to.
Yeah.
Lovable rebel.
I was like, I was definitely a rebel. I had some trouble with the law and all sorts of, and substances, all that stuff. But by grace, I connected with this beautiful Indigenous woman. She was an elder, and she really took me under her wing and showed me this really new way of looking at the world. And even though I had that depth of spirituality, it was just like this, she helped me remember who I was, right? And I think that's a gift that we can give anybody, is really just to help them remember. And I know that you care about, I love that you care about young people. And I think that's something that we can do for a young person, is just to see them, to love them, to hold them in that space, and it helped them remember who they are. So that catapulted me on to like a 20-year apprenticeship of, studying with elders. For that, I've done that for maybe 18 years now, and Buddhist teachers, all these different things, and that was like where the journey kind of unfolded. And from there, I mean, there was like some hiccups along the way. I mean, right, the life journey, the life. Yeah, and I mean,
I
think
ease and flow and peace, it's life still.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, if anyone ever told you it was going to be easy, they lied, right? So it's like, I mean, if you want to live a meaningful life, it like challenge is part of it, and
growth, expansion.
So yeah, so some challenges along the way, and I think I think if you look at my journey to like love, I mean, I found there's like the personal self. Well, there's the sacred, my connection to the sacred, which was my first love, I think, if we were talking about love, right? Was that connection to the sacred. And then the second connection was like, well, how do I like love myself, right? Because I dealt with a lot of challenges, and despite, having that connection, I still built. I had like a lot of, I was looking for the world for achievement, for approval, right? It's like that stamp of approval. I'd be looking out, whether it be with, I had a business when I was younger, and I mean, I still do, but I had a different one, and I was like making money, and I was looking how I could be loved by the money I made, by the status. So I was looking outside, and I think a lot of people can relate with that. But so I did that, but through, different personal work, I learned how to like really just love myself for being who I was, right? Not looking outside for that need. And then, so that was like the love of the self. And then after that, then there it came to like the love in the relationships, like with other people. And that's when I met my wife. And when I met my wife, I was more likely, I was considering like going to a monastery. Like I was literally, I mean, I'd been celibate for 7 years, and I met my wife, and there was something that was calling us together. I could say, like, the best way to pull it was like our souls were destined. There was like a deep connection, soul connection. And even though my head or my ego didn't really want it, it was like, you have to do this. There's growth here, like what you were talking about, growth, right?
Yeah.
There's growth. And then within that, there was all the challenges of being in the relationship of like, okay, how do you love together? Because it's like,
it's easy when you're on your own. Well, not easy.
Oh yeah, no
one's
poking you.
Yeah, like, I can see what's coming up here. But then when there's someone else, free will of someone else, is very different.
100%, yeah. Yeah, it was Ram Dass who said, you think you're enlightened, then go spend a week with your family.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So that was definitely that came up, and that was like, oh, okay, like here's all these opportunities to, let go of myself, to become more, more loving, right? Because it's so easy. All these, every time we get poked, we're just getting, it's like an old wound, it's a conditioning, and we can either like push it down, or we can use the moment to heal, right?
Absolutely.
And so those are my origins, and that's kind of led me into my work as like, a spiritual therapist, a relationship counselor, and the works, right?
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all that. And what I always love is, people really read between the lines of what you express without having to, go into old things. It's a deeply transformational journey that you have been on, and I'm sure are still, navigating, because essentially no one wants to still be in the comfort zone, like what is the comfort zone? But it's how I feel is how often we then respond to life that shows our growth. Because before, I think I can relate to, obviously not lots of your journey, it's very different to mine, but I mean there's the themes, if you want to call, of kind of, wow, I didn't see something greater than me to start with. I saw a person that I assumed was greater and going to give me this love and fulfillment, etc., etc. More than one person in multiple different ways, you know, family, relationships, whatever. And that person in particular became, it wasn't nice at the time, but became my greatest teacher, because they really actually somehow in some way taught me how to really love myself. So I kind of did it slightly different, and then I connected something greater than myself. And yeah, so I can relate to different parts of your beautiful journey, and it's ironic as well. I don't know, I just feel like it's something to talk about just because you highlighted it. It's so interesting that your wife was this gem that was going to enter your life, and it's so interesting how, say, the mind or whatever was so trying to keep you from something that was so for you. And I think that when we take it away from love and a person and things like that, it's so interesting how so many people have that moment just before almost the breakthrough. Not saying that we can ever pick wrong, because I believe life still comes back and serves us with what we need. From, if you want to say, a soul perspective, I know people use different words, but it's a word. But I feel like you really listened. You really showed that you were listening from within and feeling, because and that's beautiful. It's so beautiful, because like what you're providing, and I know it's not always ha content, but I think it's very clever how you're putting together, I believe, things that a lot of people aren't very aware of in life. And you do it in such a beautiful way, which shows how aligned you both are. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing. So I have to, the content, the funny content's thanks to my wife. She's such a prankster, and she brings out the humor in me, which is great. And because I could be serious sometimes, but she brings the playfulness, and I think that's the gift of a relationship, right? Everyone can do that. But I really want to speak to something that you said about how, like, I was able to choose, right? Like, here was this gem, and I almost didn't say yes
well, I
to
felt
it.
that.
Just to think how many, literally, okay, so if I go deeper into the story, my wife and I were actually on the verge of separation.
Wow.
Like, we had, like, what happened was we were 4 months into our relationship, and then she said, like, you know, she had these visions of these children, right? And then my wife is like she kind of sees things, and then I was like, whoa, you know, okay, 7 years celibate. I was like, oh, I think you're talking about some other guy, right? You know,
I don't have that vision.
So, So I literally was like, we were like talking about leaving, and we actually, you know, we went into a ceremony, and in that ceremony, I actually had a vision of my son as well, and I had like the mission that he was going to do, and all these things.
Wow.
And it was like, and then in that space, I saw that, oh, hey, Adam, this isn't about you. Exactly. This is about something so much bigger. And I think that's what happens is when we're really living our purpose, we're living our dharma, we're doing what we're here to do. It's never about us. It's about something so much bigger. And this is where like the connection to the sacred, I think, really helps us. And that's like, I'm talking about it a lot because I bring it into my work so much, because it's like a superpower. Because like when we tap into this energy, like we call it the sacred, you could call it your soul, you could call it God, the universe, life, whatever you want to call it.
It's just
that energy,
infinite energy, isn't it? Something greater than yourself.
And when we tap into it, we can have perspective. It's like if you climb up a tree, you know, you're climbing up a tree, you're in the forest, and then you're up on the top of the tree, you know where you're going to go, right? You have that clear picture. You're connected. But when you climb back down, you're like stuck in the forest. You're like, well, now what do I do? Where do I go, right? So it's like that was the only reason I was able to like say yes to it. And I feel like it's something that is important that we often forget about in our culture, which is so materialistic. But it, like, when we tap into it, you know, like we talk about meditation, like if you're having a a hard time deciding how to do something, if you can really slow down and turn
Yes.
within, you're able to hear that still small voice, right?
Absolutely. And again, it's not saying it's one way or the other. And I know that you're that type of person that would be able to see beyond the doing, and it's more the being. But I really felt from what you've just expressed and what I feel in my own life. And again, it's not saying not to have those conversations with people, but often people can only talk from their own projections, their own perspective, their own whatever they've experienced. So, even if you say you're fully aligned, you still don't fully know the capacity of everything happening within that person. And so I've really noticed, especially when it's something so important in my life, that taking that time for me and to really go within and listen, I will always receive the answer. And even when sometimes, like with the example of what you received at first, like, no, that's not me. I go, okay, I didn't expect that, but then that shows that that's different to me, because I would generate what I want. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Whereas when it's something you're like, really? That's because it's greater than you. And I just think, it's so powerful to have. And I think even when, if you want to call them blessings or things that we're creating and entering our lives, I've noticed as well, it's not trusting other people, but sometimes, thinking about even the baby in the womb and it developing and having that sacred time, sometimes it just really needs that time to develop, really develop into something in order for it to be released, because I think, not saying people can ever interfere what is always ours anyway, because it's always ours, I believe, because again, what we believe is very important as well. But equally, it's like, do you want that energy? Do you want all of kind of other people's projections in what you're creating, what's happening in your life? Or do you want to really savor and enjoy this moment, and then when it's right and that it's fully concrete and ready, then release it with the love? And again, people, whether they'll believe, oh, she's so lucky, or she's this, or he's that, it doesn't matter, because it's still going to come into fruition, it's still going to happen. But I know that I was very much a person that would talk about everything, share everything, and then nothing would really come about of anything, or it would come in a way that I really hadn't had time to process and think about. Whereas now I'm very, it's still a journey, but I'm very conscious about really flip it.
That's really special, and I think so wise too, because actually sometimes even when we speak about something, it like deflates part of its energy, right? I love that idea of like, it's this thing that you really want to cherish, right? Like it's like it's and I love the fact that you use the analogy of like a birth. And I think when we're working on something that's like so, like, say, cherished to our heart, that we're feeling called to bring into this world, it's like we also need that patience, right? That patience, that willingness to take care and nurture. And it's amazing. It's amazing, the many journeys of life, right? It's like one birth after another. Even after it's born, then you have to take care of the child. Then there's the two, and then it just keeps going.
Exactly. Even then, when you put it out, you've still got to, navigate. Like, there's still going to be a point where, there's still going to be projections, opinions, and it's like, it's just like, do you want that for, if we're going to talk about the birthing process, do you want that for the whole 9 months, or do you want that for the one last month or something? You get to pick. Beautiful, really beautiful. And something I would love your take on this, something that I've really had to navigate, is when I learned about the power of words and intention, talking in alignment with what we're talking about. I very much, when people would say things that I just had an inner known wasn't true for my life, I would kind of not give fire back with fire, but I would be calm, but kind of like, oh no, I will be, and I would speak it into existence. And I've realized
Mm,
actually now at this point, no, I don't need to, because I know what's within. And again, it is often something that that person might so say for example, if you want to go traveling or something and something really important's happened in your life and that person is holding on to that precious time with you, and then you're
mm,
already talking, like it's not even happening yet, but you're already talking about, where you want to go next, or what your plans are for your life. It often isn't that that person doesn't want that for you. It's because they often just really want to save that time with you, so why take that from them? Know what
mm,
you know. And again, I think it's just comes with wisdom, age, I don't know what you know. It's not saying that, oh, now their words have said this, that's going to happen, because you know what you know.
mm.
So that's been a really big learning curve for me as well, that you don't have to keep every time someone says something like say the opposite, or have that not conflict, but
Mm-hmm. Mm.
so
No, it's
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, no, I think it's important, right? I mean, we, like you said, like we know our own truth, and like I think there's times to speak our truth, and there's also times to just be silent and smile.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
like, and that's where wisdom comes in. It's like, when
Yeah.
is the right time to speak? When is the right time to be still? And, I'm never going to say there's a hard line. It's really so situational on like
Yes,
what is
yes.
the moment is asking of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, like words are powerful. So knowing like,
Mm,
what are the words that I want to bring into this world, right? Are they going to be
yes.
uplifting? And, or are they going to be, bringing someone down? So it's like there's this consciousness
Yeah,
that we have to put behind
absolutely.
everything. Yeah.
And I try to see it like my mind, because I think our mind can be so loving, but also can be so cruel sometimes. And I just think,
Mm-hmm.
just observe it, just observe what they're saying, and
Mm-hmm.
actually see greater than that. That from a love and compassionate perspective, I can see why they're saying that, and that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Is that easy? Not always, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just obviously I'm really conscious of the time, but equally I would love to know how all that ancient wisdom and the beautiful journey that you've had with indigenous tribes and Buddhas and all different incredible people. How have you taken that wisdom and integrated it into like the modern world? I'm not saying that that's
Mm.
not modern, because that's unkind, because that's
Yeah.
their truth and their life, but I mean
Mm-hmm.
it's very different to the way many people live.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the beauty is actually ancient wisdom right now. Like we look at, like the wisdom traditions from all over the world. We could look at Buddhism, like the
Mhm.
Vedic traditions from India, Taoism, many of the indigenous traditions. I mean, there's a lot of the same thing that we see
Yes.
all over the place, right? And at the end of the day, we see a vast similarity that we're all humans. They're basically we're trying to, be happy at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to be
Love.
happy at the end of the day, and we're trying to love, right? And it all points to essentially the same thing. And how do we get there? It's kind of the same thing. I mean, between different words and different ways of being, right? And
Yeah.
it comes down to living a virtuous life, living in alignment with these principles. And if you look at modern science, and modern science is pointing to, with positive psychology, you ask, well, how do you live? They're studying like, how do you be happy, right? It's what we're
Yeah.
all looking for. And through that is through flourishing, by putting your virtues in action, by living in alignment with these higher truths, right? So
Yeah.
for me, there's this beauty because they're all coming together. And so that's living a virtuous life is really what a lot of these traditions kind of point to. And like no one can argue that if you're kind, loving, caring, compassionate, determined, um, uh, conscientious, all, power, like these things are going to like bring us to happiness, to joy, to peace, to
Yeah.
bliss, to everything that we're seeking. So for me, it's just really like highlighting what we're kind of already know, and how do I, like, I guess bridge that is mostly just like speaking to it and just saying
Yeah.
like, hey, actually over here, there's this beautiful um, concept found in the Lakota tradition, which I studied with for many years with, traditional apprenticeship there. And the saying is Mitakuye Oyasin, which means for all my relations. Like, and so the idea is that when you would do something, you would like go to a healing ceremony, and before you enter the healing ceremony, you may put your head on the ground and you say Mitakuye Oyasin. And it's like, I do this healing for all of my relationships, not just for me,
Yes.
but for my kids, my parents, my ancestors. I'm doing this healing for every single
Yes,
one of
yes.
us, right? And this beautiful concept is that when I heal, actually you heal. And this is exactly the same
Yes.
concept as Ubuntu, right? Ubuntu is I win, you win, we're all in this together. It's ecology. If you look at ecology,
Energy, isn't it?
when everything is working together. And so for me, it really comes down to like, it's amazing how, relationships are really like, if we're all related, how we relate to everything really makes a difference. How I relate to you is going to be how I relate to, the earth. And, it's this beautiful process. And what I love about it is it means that, everywhere we go, we can heal the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everywhere we go with how we live. And it's like, you may be called to the picket lines, and that's great, but you can make a difference right in your community, and that's going to ripple into the entire world. So.
Absolutely. And just as you shared that, like a really powerful image came to my mind, and then you finish it with ripple, which is even better, of like thinking about, the word, that the way it's, because more than the word, because love can be in very, very different ways, care can be in very different ways, compassion can be in very different ways. You could be a mother who really cares but is projecting a lot of worry and anxiety onto the children, or vice versa. So I just thought about like, like matter, and kind of like you can love hard, boom, and it whereas you can love gently, and it will come in gently. And so what I felt from what you expressed, and I'm not summarizing it into a small thing, but I think I felt what I heard from what you shared was essentially, it doesn't matter about what we wear, how we do it. It's the energy and the essence behind what we're doing. And essentially, we're all wanting love. We're all wanting compassion. We're all wanting, this just is something within that just shines out and radiates out. And I know from how I begin my morning, or what's going on in my mind, and etc., the feelings I'm feeling, of how other people, like what you so beautifully said about everything's interlinked, is how someone will push past me that day, or someone will gently move around me and smile. And I know, and it's not saying again we are in charge of the what's going to happen, but we kind of are, because we're giving out a certain energy, a certain essence, and it's something that's much more than the words, the way we present ourselves. It's felt. And so thank you so much for explaining that.
Yeah, no, it's
beautiful.
If I just riff off that before you ask me another question, I just want to highlight what you said about just the
no
power that we put
queue,
out.
by the way, I'm just listening.
I know. But if we realize just how much of an influence we put out into the world, and like you were saying that if you're, and they've researched this, like that like your heart, when it's incoherent, it actually affects like I think it's like 20 feet around you, and like you're actually influencing the world by the way you're feeling. And so like, I mean, we've all experienced this when someone comes into a room and they're so stressed out. We all start getting stressed, Or you see the person that's just radiating and
And
beaming,
sometimes
right?
you
You
feel
also
it
get that.
before they even
Yeah.
enter. You're just like, oh,
Uh-huh.
what's going on? Boom, the
Yeah.
door opens.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's actually research on that. They found that the heart is it, I think it can anticipate 6 seconds into the future of
Yeah,
like intense emotions. It has this feeling. It's like
absolutely.
this radar is out there. So it's like we have the capacity to be those people. We have
Yeah,
the capacity to be those bright lights that, because there will be a bunch of people that are going to come in and they may
yeah,
bump into our field, right? And it's like, are we going to be the people that are going to raise everyone up? And that's what we need more than ever. We need those
yeah,
people that are
yeah.
going to raise everyone up. There's a lot of storms going on, but can we be those peaceful
Pillars.
beacons that
Yeah.
brighten this place out?
Absolutely, and not saying, and this is absolutely not saying the person or your thoughts or your feelings or the actions you were taking prior to meeting your wife, but it's really interesting how I think it's also important to recognize it doesn't always come in like a storm. Sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
can be oh yeah, I think you'd be really great with this opportunity, and oh yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sometimes it can be, it can feel like alignment, it can feel like clarity, but then
Mm.
there's still this just something which I feel like you had of like, oh, but I can't get her, I keep thinking about her, and there's something about her, and
Mm-hmm.
listen to those small whispers, because there's
Mm-hmm.
something that's not quite in coherence. um
Mm-hmm.
and even, again, that could be the distraction. You don't, it's just, it's, I think it's just the unfolding of life. And obviously
Yeah.
it was a beautiful unfolding for your life. And yeah, and I want to be really conscious of the time, but as I previously said before we pushed record, I would actually love for you and your beautiful wife to come back, and for us to talk about sacred connection and union, because I know there's lots of questions that I have on, particularly some videos, even whether people understand this or not, but it was something that kind of come across my mind, and my path, quite a few years ago, of like connecting with people when we're not in
Mm.
that alignment. I'm not going to use the
Mm-hmm.
words that we could go
Yeah.
into that deeper
Yeah.
another time, but yeah, I very much know the implications of what can happen. And again, it's not good, it's not right, it's not wrong, it's not bad. Sometimes it's actually what we needed at that
Mm.
time in order to
Mm.
see
Mm.
deeper. And I
Yeah.
know I'm speaking very cryptic here, people will be like,
Yeah.
but you will know when when the time is right
Planting
and we
seeds. We're
create the
planting
episode.
seeds. Yeah.
But equally, if you go on his Instagram, you will get more information on what I'm kind of hinting into.
Mm.
So really, Adam, it's been incredible, but equally, because this is your episode, and if there's anything you still feel like this that you would love to express, that you feel like the viewers would
Mm.
really benefit from hearing, like, please use this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll use, I'm gonna kind of tail the last little bit you talked about, those whispers, right?
Yeah.
Those whispers. And life doesn't come like a storm if you listen to the whispers, right? Like it's like,
Oh yeah.
because life will always teach you, and we can learn. They say you can learn through two ways. You can learn through wisdom, or you can learn through suffering. And usually we sign up for suffering for a long time until they're like, oh, wait, I don't need to do that anymore. I can learn through wisdom.
Yeah.
And inside us, there's that still small voice. And you can get there through like going within, right? Like slowing down. We're talking about like, getting Zen to Zest, getting away from the hustle. Like
Yeah.
when we can like really get quiet, go within, take time to meditate, to remember who you truly are, like that, like living, like coming within. When we can tap into that, then life will take care of itself. And so that's like, I mean, the last thing I'll just say is like, go within. There's no greater medicine. If
Yeah.
this is like at all like sparked your interest, I'd love to like give you a gift of, we've talked about a lot of different stories on bringing love into your life. I have like like a free part of my book. It's like 5 lessons to bring more love into your life. So that's lessonsonlove.org/gift, lessonsonlove.org/gift. And remember, just go within. That's where all the love is, really, at the end of the day.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for that, and it will be in the description. So please don't worry about you can rewatch it and go back to that point, but everything will be in the description. Just quickly, because you just touched on it again, and I know you spoke about it previously, the really taking that time to especially love those parts of you that you really think aren't lovable. And it's I like because I feel like, again, if we think about energy, you're always, not always, but there'll be someone that comes to mirror that to you in a strong way. So it's like, you want the storm, not necessarily the storm, or you want the powerful reflection, or you want to work on it yourself. And it's not, again, walking around all egotistic and, oh wow, I'm so fabulous. No, it's not saying that. But when you really, and you'll know, because they'll come up, and you see certain parts of yourself, it could be physically, it could be emotionally, whatever. Just as much as possible, I think, if you can go to that kind parent, would you highlight that? Most parents to their child really pick out all the horrible things about them. No, most parents would want their children to see themselves in the best, beautiful light, and have balance still. So I really love that you mentioned that. And yeah, it was, even for myself included, it was definitely not an easy process, but it's so transformational, and you just invite more love into your life, and it's so beautiful. So really, thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you.
And I know you already said my last word, but I always just give the opportunity. But again, if you want to just repeat that, you can. It doesn't have to be related to what we said. And just at the end, I say, if there's something someone right now in this very moment would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
Well, I will again jump off what you just last said, because we're building this together, and I love it. Is take Shel's wisdom for a spin, and just, we have these parts of ourselves that we think that these are just old parts, right? A lot of times, we could have even gotten these parts that we could have been 1 year old, 7 years old, who knows, 13, and there was a part of us that felt we weren't good enough, weren't lovable, all these different things. And so we can be that parent that wasn't there, right? And we can bring that part of us and just put our hand on our heart. And even if you put your hand on your heart, that calms the parasympathetic nervous system. It invites you to relax, and you can just hold it in love and presence. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to change it. One of the greatest ways to say I love you is your presence. So just give that presence, and just give your presence to those parts, bit by bit, moment by moment, and little by little, that these parts feel that love. So
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What a pleasure to connect with you, Adam, and thank you to other Adam for connecting us. I'm so blessed to have guests that just constantly recommend other incredible people making just beautiful, just being you, beautiful, transformational impact in the world. And thank you so much. And I'm excited to continue to watch your beautiful journey with your wife and everything unfolding. And just keep sending lots of blessings your way. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
That's the magic. That's Zest, Adam.